top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. Per a tweet from International Boxing News, unification at Bantamweight. Denmark's own WBO champion Dina Thorslund is rumored to be facing Mexico's own Julie-No, reigning WBC champion.
The story is the Ring Magazine title is supposed to be on the line. It's only right.
Set to go down in early September. The fight has not yet been officially announced, and we don't know who's going to be promoting the show, who's going to promote it, where's it going to go down, which are some particularly important details. You want to know who the house fighter is in the event of close rounds.
Who's likelier to get consideration than not?
The fight is tough enough to edge as it is. Dina Thorslund and Julie-No may not be as well known as, say, Ebony Bridges of Australia, a matchroom fighter, a reigning champion.
Perhaps not as well known as Nina Hughes, another matchroom fighter, a reigning champion, one who's going to be defending her newly obtained title for the first time very soon.
Dina and Julie-No perhaps are not as well known as the aforementioned fighters and champions, perhaps are not as well known as, say, Shannon Courtenay, but Dina and Julie-No.
They're a lot more experienced than all of those fighters, more experienced than all of those champions. In many ways, they are the number one and number two fighters at this weight.
It's about time that this division got some consolidation.
World titles are split four ways between four fighters, four champions.
Unbeaten Dina Thorslund of Denmark, who sports a professional record of 19 wins with no losses, no draws, 8 knockouts. A two-division champion, having reigned as a champion at both Super Bantamweight and Bantamweight currently.
Her leaping left hook is a thing of beauty, and it don't miss.
Her leaping left hook to the body, managed by the United Kingdom's own Lee Eaton, who was hinting at some major news just a few days ago. Last week, I can only assume this is what they were hinting at, what they were talking about. The fight hasn't been officially announced. We don't know where it's going down and who's promoting it.
So it's still welcome news.
A true 50-50 fight between champions. Julie-No sports a professional record of 25 wins with 3 losses, 1 draw, 4 knockouts. You can argue that Julie-No has faced a better quality of competition than Dina Thorslund has.
But she has had some setbacks. She has suffered some hiccups. She's got 3 recorded losses, whereas Dina is an unbeaten fighter, an unbeaten champion.
They're both two-division champions, both Dina and Julie-No. Julie-No held the IBF title, I believe it was at Super Bantamweight between 2014 and 2016. Since 2020, she has reigned as the Bantamweight division's WBC champion. She, like Dina, moved down in weight.
And she's been busy. She's been active. She fought 2 times in 2021, 2 times in 2022. She's already seen action once this year back in March.
She's coming off a unanimous decision win against Vanessa Taborda.
I want to say that in terms of power, they might both be about even, though Dina is more the action fighter than Julie-No.
They both pack an authoritative punch, they do, but I feel like Dina goes in for the kill more often than Julie-No does. Julie-No is a more cerebral boxer, tall for the weight with long levers. She likes to use those extremities to fight from a safe distance.
More the boxer than the puncher.
So even if their power is about even, Julie-No being a more cerebral fighter that likes to set up her shots as opposed to Dina, who's more aggressive and come forward, very bouncy, very much an action fighter.
That dichotomy would make Julie-No the boxer and Dina Thorslund the puncher.
Credit to both ladies if they can get this unification match over the line, because they could have chose to sit out and wait for other champions like Ebony Bridges or Nina Hughes, 2 champions that are with a major promotional outfit, boxing on a major platform. They could have elected to do that, but they chose not to. They chose to take each other on instead.
Take out the competition.
Narrowing the playing field and narrowing the pool of options for the winner of what could be Bridges versus Hughes. That's provided that Nina Hughes, makes it past Katie Healy, and I think she's going to. If Nina beats Katie and successfully defends her WBA title, she's likely going to move straight into a unification match with Ebony, who by that time will have had a takeover fight.
Because she's coming off that surgery. Then later on this year, Ebony, if she wins, and Nina, if she wins, they meet up with each other. A victor emerges.
And whoever it is faces the winner of this fight, presumably at some point in the first or second quarter of next year. It sets up undisputed at 118 pounds.
Which is sorely needed.
Both fighters have fought in the last 12 months, so neither champion has any ring rust that they need to shake off ahead of time. Supposed to go down sometime in early September.
I don't know who's paying for it.
Who's the promoter? Who's bankrolling the show? And on what platform will it air?
Dina and Julie-No may not be the most popular bantamweight champions, but this really is the best versus the best at 118. That's what they are.
I have a high opinion of the both of these fighters, both of these ladies.
And on the face of it, I don't have a clear-cut answer who wins. This is a 50-50 fight.
And the best fight you could hope to make at 118 pounds. We'll talk more about the fight as the fight date approaches. In men's super lightweight news, Regis Prograis versus Danielito Zorrilla, set for June 17th in New Orleans. Just like that, Matchroom has found Regis a replacement after Liam Paro got injured and pulled out, and Arnold Barboza's manager, Rick Merrigan, negotiated his ass out of a title shot.
Told you he was going to do that.
Regis Prograis will defend his WBC super lightweight title against Danielito Zorrilla on Saturday, June 17th at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, Louisiana, live worldwide on DAZN.
I'm glad Zorrilla has taken the fight. Nothing changes for me. I'm still working hard to go out there and prove that I am the best fighter in the world at 140. I will go out, do my thing, show out for my city, and defend my title with pride.
This is a homecoming fight for Regis Prograis, and you know how I feel about homecoming fights. They seem to be potential banana skins. I don't know what it does to a fighter's psyche, but you saw what happened to Jarrett Hurd in his homecoming fight in his native Baltimore, Maryland.
He ended up losing to Julian Williams, and you saw what happened to Julian in his homecoming fight in his native Philadelphia.
Look at what happened to Katie Taylor this past weekend in her long-awaited homecoming fight in her native Ireland. She never boxed there as a pro.
Look what happened.
Regis Prograis better fight like he's on the road. I'm sad for Liam Paro, but we have a great replacement, and I'm gonna make everyone proud. Everyone in my city is stopping me in the street and asking me about the fight, so I can't wait to get in there and put on a show. It's gonna be a firefight.
Regis Prograis better fight like he's on the road.
That's what he better do. I've already seen the Boo Birds criticizing this fight, criticizing Zorrilla as an opponent, saying that Regis should have gone to Top Rank.
Why?
So he can end up like Lomachenko did this past weekend on the business end of a bad decision. The only name he was guaranteed if he went over there, the only name...
Arnold Barboza.
Rick Merrigan couldn't secure his own fighter, a Teofimo Lopez fight, but you think he was going to secure that for Regis?
Just cut the fucking crap.
You're talking about a long-term contract with Top Rank that doesn't really guarantee you a Teofimo Lopez fight, or a Jose Ramirez fight for that matter.
If Lopez ends up beating Taylor, what do you think? He's going to go unify with Regis? No!
He's going to defend his title against Jose Ramirez. They'll seek refuge in each other, and all Regis will be left with is Arnold Barboza.
Is Arnold Barboza supposed to be a better name and a better fight than Jack Catterall?
Jack Catterall, in the eyes of many, beat Josh Taylor, and Josh Taylor, as we all know, he beat Jose Ramirez.
No robbery.
Beating Jack Catterall means more than beating Arnold Barboza.
It means more than beating Jose Ramirez, too.
So long as Regis takes care of business with Danielito, he can have that Jack Catterall fight.
Danielito Zorrilla, who is promoted by none other than Puerto Rican legend Miguel Cotto.
Zorrilla has worked hard for this opportunity, and without a doubt, the time has come to fight for the World Championship, said Cotto. Prograis is a great champion, but on June 17th, he will have a complete boxer in front of him, hungry and ready to be a world champion.
And we're going to have to get a good look at this guy and what this guy does ahead of the fight.
What we do know about Zorrilla is that he has one professional loss, and that loss came at the hands of none other than Arnold Barboza, who Regis was supposed to be fighting, but Rick Merrigan, Rick the Magician...
If he don't do nothing else, he makes fights disappear.
The Ramirez fight, the Barboza fight, I told you guys a couple of days ago here on the channel, he's gonna fuck up that fight for Arnold, and when he does, I wonder what Arnold's options are going to be, since he's acting like he's too good.
Oh, he's too good for Matchroom's offer, apparently.
I got nothing against Arnold Barboza, but I don't have any illusions about him either. He looked bang average with Jose Pedraza. You're not going to convince me this guy's making 7 figures a fight, fighting on undercards. He's not headlining his own shows.
Don't let Rick Merrigan's tall tales fool you.
Gets out there, starts talking dollars, but he's only doing that to siphon the best offer for his fighter. In reality, Arnold is little more than just an undercard fighter.
Yep.
An unbeaten one.
Being unbeaten don't make you king shit.
Your manager's fucked you out of a title shot, and I hope that he has an alternative, because Danielito Zorrilla will be standing in your place. Danielito, who sports a professional record of 17 wins with 1 loss, no draws, 13 knockouts, having never been knocked out in 18 professional bouts. Good dimensions for a super lightweight, standing in at approximately 5'9". I think he's 29 years old.
He's big for 140.
A Miguel Cotto Promotions fighter. I said it last week. Arnold Barboza is going to fuck around and play hard to get, which is going to make him hard to want.
Don't go thinking you're indispensable because you got your O intact.
You can be replaced. If I'm confident of anything, it's that Eddie Hearn and Matchroom can find adequate and suitable replacements to keep their fighters busy, keep them active, because that's what they do. For a long time, they criticized Eddie Hearn's matchmaking for Dimitri Bivol, up until the Canelo Alvarez fight that paid off for Dimitri.
Boo Birds miraculously disappeared, kind of like this fight disappeared for Arnold Barboza.
Has appeared for Danielito Zorrilla, who last saw action in March of this year, won a TKO stoppage in the first round against Aristides Quintero.
He fought 2 times in 2021, just once in 2022. That was the Arnold Barboza fight, the Arnold Barboza loss, and he's already rebounded off that loss in March of this year. So he's got no ring rust he needs to shake off.
As stated, this being a homecoming fight, Regis better not take this guy lightly. He better focus on the fight and pretend he's on the road instead of taking in all the pleasantries and festivities of having a hometown fight.
Better fight this guy like you're fighting him in his neck of the woods instead of yours. Fight like you're in Puerto Rico.
I'm a big fan of Regis Prograis. Have been for a long time, but he is 34 years old. He's in his mid-30s, whereas this guy's 29. He's about 4 or 5 years younger than Regis.
Standing in at 5'9", that's big for a 140-pound fighter.
And this is a WBC title fight, not an IBF title fight. There's no rehydration cap.
I don't know what this guy's gonna weigh the night of the fight. You might be in there with a welterweight or a junior middle.
Don't take him lightly. I'm not at all surprised to see that the Arnold Barboza fight fell apart and that Matchroom was Johnny on the spot in securing Regis another opponent. They're professional like that.
Matchroom,
The best in the business. Men's lightweight and super lightweight news. 2-division champion turned lightweight contender Shakur Stevenson says, honestly, it should be me versus Lomachenko for undisputed.
And had the right man won the fight, that's exactly what I think would have happened. I think Shakur would have ended up fighting Loma. Loma wouldn't shy away from him.
Immediately after the fight, the ace southpaw from Newark, New Jersey, entered the ring and told ESPN's Bernardo Osuna that he believed Lomachenko won the fight. Leading into Saturday's fight, Stevenson had predicted that Haney would essentially have his way with Lomachenko.
We talked about that here on the channel. Shakur Stevenson said that Devin would be too big.
After having watched the fight, Shakur Stevenson, who initially picked Devin Haney to win, changed his position. He feels that Lomachenko won the fight. Lomachenko should be undisputed champion here. He won, Stevenson said. He won that fight. He landed the cleaner punches. He landed the cleaner shots on Dev, and he pushed the pace.
Post-fight, Shakur Stevenson said he had an 8-4 in favor of Vasyl Lomachenko, the same as Oscar De La Hoya, and I had it the same way they had it. 8-4 Lomachenko, 7-5 if you're generous to Devin.
Yet Devin Haney's supporters are trying to gaslight the boxing community at large that is outraged with this robbery, claiming it's a hyperbolic view. It's hyperbolic to say that most people had Loma winning the fight.
There must be a fuck ton of people in this hyperbolic chamber.
Fans, fighters, even some celebrities are all claiming Vasyl Lomachenko won the fight. In fact, you're ignoring quite a few people to come to the conclusion that Devin won that fight legitimately. That's not what most people are saying.
It's Devin's fans that are living in an echo chamber.
He intimated as much on his social media, saying that a fight with Lomachenko rather than Haney should be for all the belts. I would love that fight with Lomachenko too. Honestly, feel it should be me versus him for undisputed, Stevenson wrote on his Twitter account.
Stevenson then followed up with another tweet. If Dev don't stay at 135 and fight me, I would love to fight with Lomachenko to show y'all I'm the truth.
And that still might happen. Vasyl Lomachenko said he's not retiring after the fight. He said he still feels, based on that performance, he can still fight.
But suffering a loss like this one, you have to admit, takes something out of a fighter. In truth, every loss does.
Psychologically, it's hard to muster up the same spirit for a fight, even if it is a title fight. Psychologically, it's hard to muster up the same fire when you feel that you legitimately won the fight.
Yeah.
Most people feel that you legitimately won the fight,
Yeah.
but you don't get the decision. You don't know where you stand.
You start questioning yourself and why you even ever got into boxing.
You thought that you understood the sport,
Yeah.
thought that you understood what it took,
Yeah.
then you get juxed on the cards, you get jiked.
I don't think he can muster up the same fire for Shakur Stevenson that he mustered up for Devin Haney. Perhaps he could have had he gotten a decision, because he would have been riding high, having achieved that lifelong dream, that goal of becoming an undisputed champion. We all know he's been chasing that dream for a while.
I never favored Lomachenko to beat Stevenson. What I figured would happen is that Lomachenko will beat Devin Haney, and Devin Haney will lose with dignity, but he will lose. He'll move up in weight to a better weight for him, at which point it'll come down to Shakur Stevenson and Vasyl Lomachenko, and I figured Stevenson would be the one to do it. He'd be the one to give Vasyl Lomachenko his next professional loss.
The path to undisputed for Shakur Stevenson is a lot more fragmented now, because I don't know that Devin's going to stay at 135, and if he doesn't, and he vacates all those belts, they'll be redistributed.
Maybe he'll end up fighting Vasyl Lomachenko for one of them, but not all of them. Not all the marbles. Not all the belts in one fell swoop.
Nope.
The fight was fixed, and the cards were rigged. Some are asking, well, why would Top Rank set up their own fighter?
Vasyl Lomachenko is supposed to be the one they have under contract, whereas for Devin, this was said to be his final fight under his existing deal, under his existing contract. To that, Paulie Malignaggi.
This video was supposed to have been taken 2 days before the fight. 2 days before Devin set foot in the ring with Vasyl Lomachenko. And this is what Paulie had to say.
And yo, I got one more little tidbit for you. I'll break it to you here. Bob re-signed Haney 2 nights before the fight. Okay?
No way.
2 nights before the fight.
Oh, that's crazy. Hey, I appreciate you, Paulie. God bless.
According to Paulie Malignaggi, 2 days before the fight, Devin Haney extended his stay at Top Rank, thereby explaining, at least to Paulie, why they might have rigged the cards, why they might have set up Vasyl Lomachenko. He is the older fighter in his mid-30s, whereas Devin, he's in his mid-20s. More upside, less miles on the odometer.
I take anything that Paulie Malignaggi says about Devin Haney with a grain of salt, because I've always been of the opinion that Paulie has an axe to grind with Devin.
I don't know what it is specifically, but I take whatever he says about Devin with a grain of salt. Though if time proves him right, and Devin Haney will fight 2 more times under the Top Rank banner,
That explains it.
that explains why they might have set up Vasyl Lomachenko to lose in favor of Devin Haney. It's because Devin's younger, he's an American fighter with no language barrier. In their eyes, he might seem more marketable than Vasyl Lomachenko at this point.
If time proves him right, axe or no axe to grind.
That tells the story, while Devin Haney's supporters continue to try to gaslight the entire boxing community in the comment section of videos like this one,
That the victory was legitimate.
and that the only people calling it a robbery are guys that are in an echo chamber, that it's a hyperbolic view.
It's a hyperbolic view that Shakur Stevenson shares, Keyshawn Davis, the Vargas kid, Sean Porter, Regis Prograis, Jared Anderson, Oscar De La Hoya,
Jorge Linares, Paulie Malignaggi, at least one of the Charlo brothers.
hyperbolic, they say.
I think you're just mad that most of the boxing community don't agree with you.